we'll talk about the millets.
So, sir, you have mentioned about Amrut. I mean, this is very, very relevant in today's context. It has been, but today, last 1.5 year, you have seen how the world is paying attention. Many doctors and scientists are prescribing immunity-based food, which is like, of course, we traditionally call Amrut. So, Amrut Ahar is actually the food which can actually give you immunity. That's what it means.
Yes,
But at
yes.
the same time, in English terminology, sir, there is no word for ahar, because food is something we consume physically, which is organic in which is like we can cook basically. But ahar, can you define what is ahar? I don't think it is necessarily cooked
Yeah.
food.
The ahar, even fruits, vegetables, your other things, what I said, everything, the ahar is the one ayush. Ayush means the life to increase. Life to ahar, you should, once you, ahar means you should give the life. The more, suppose he is supposed to have 100
Energy,
years.
more energy and more.
The right
And
ahar, right? He may live 150 years with the active life. The ahar is the most important. That is we call Annapurna. Annapurna. So where that is the immunity ahar. It's not that it is just anything which is right food. That is choice is there. So the soil, the earth is given everything to us. So the only thing we have to see that is not get polluted. If it get polluted by using a chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, or all type of plastics, this and that, what we are doing, then that's why we call Bhumata, means earth, mother earth. We call mother earth. You have to be very, very, today if you don't care for mother earth, is a global warming we call that, melting the ice. Almost all the sea based cities, wherever there, all will be immersed. Within 5 years, if it continues like that, see that not only our health and also the planet health and other living beings will be getting vanished if we don't change the food habit, that is Amruta.
sir, before I just I will start want to come into millets, but it is I want to talk about these two statements you made inspirational, which is very fundamental ethos and also around the world. What you said just now in Sanskrit word, Vriksho Rikshiti Rakshitaha. So, which is also very much in world. It is there in the UN Convention biodiversity and also United Nations environment. They keep talking about if you take care of the planet, planet will take care of you. This is what it means. So if you take care of a tree, tree will take care of you. So that's what the traditionally this Vriksho Rakshite Rakshitaha means. And you talked about this Gosam Rakshana. Many people think that this is a related to some particular community or some particular religion, which is there in Sanskrit. But what you talked about is like taking care of the animal. Cow is one of the comes from the animal
Sacred,
husbandry.
sacred
Yes,
animal.
yes, but that is looked at as a very because you have traditionally you have a certain affinity, so you call this as a sacred. But fundamentally, it is giving life to other people. So it is part of the animal husbandry. So if you take care of the animals, which can give you you know basic livelihood and give you health and also help you protect the nature. So that's why we are saying protect the cow. So it is not that cow is some religious animal. That's why, and then people have misunderstanding. So I want to
No,
protect it.
so, all the living beings,
Yes.
human is the, why you are divided, human is the supreme, is because we have discriminative power. Like that in the animals also, there are like, elephant is a horse, the cow, like that, the birds. It is a representation of one, like, lion, tiger. These are all things, we have to live with them. Suppose the birds are not there. If they, like a snake is not there, frog is not there, over our whole biodiversity will get disturbed. So we can't. The basic, the cow, what instead of the chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, all this type of required for the soil to protect. this cow, whatever it comes, the dung, urine from that, what it can be protected. That the earth can be protected. That trillions of microbes, can be live only with this cow urine, with this cow dung. Others also is good, like bird droppings. Birds also is important. Bird droppings also, the soil get improved. Ultimately, what our main purpose is, not to bring this type of other chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, all the types of plastics. This it protects. The cow is the one which we found is the ultimate. 35 acres, one cow.
That's great, sir. So you are saying that it is an organic fertilizer factory, and also it can give the life to the soil. It protects the soil. So
In
it's
India
great.
is one more thing. That the cow, the ghee, we use, with the samidhis, whatever the roots are coming, the branches are dried branches of we call samidhis, which are the most sacred herbs, which in the fire to offer to the rain god, to the earth god, or any type of, we call is a god name is not that god name. Like rain is a rain god, we call. If it is a air god. If it is the sun god. If it is the fire god. For all of them, to maintain the equilibrium, we offer the ghee, this cow ghee, and this herbs, which in the fire, it produces. This is the science. It's not that you do the yajna for the rain god, the rain will come. If you do the yajna for the COVID-19, this pandemic, anything is there, you do on that basis, particular herbs, these herbs will go in nanoparticles into the and purifies earth, water, air. This is what it is the greatest. People may not believe, who are not knowing the scientific reasons, because they to understand the devatas names are given. They are not devatas. They're all the fire. Without fire you cannot. Without sun you cannot. Without rain you cannot. But to get them back without pollution, this yajna, these two are important. These samidhis, which we call the herbs, which we offer through fire, and also ghee of the cow. That's why we Kamadhenu, Kalpruksha. These names are not given for any other, which is always we have something, is always good is good. It's not that, others are bad. If I say good, you are a good man, it doesn't mean that, others are bad.
Correct, sir. So, sir, that's what you have explained, the scientific process of purifying 5 elements, which are like Earth is also constituting. That's fundamentally what a biodiversity park also is doing, which Pragati has. I hope many of people would look forward to come. This is, I think, situated in Hyderabad city nearby. I think you are also coming up with another 1 or 2 more biodiversity parks. So I want to come back to Sir millets. So why today's context? People know food like cooked food and many other food people are having in the breakfast and lunch and dinner, and they go to outside for having various kinds of dishes. Essentially our entire life is consumed basically part of what we are because of the food. So millets, why should we consume millets? What is the importance of the millets? And what is why we should call this as a magical food? Why it is the AmrutAahar?
Wonderful question. This is the millet is the one why it is AmrutAahar is one of the part in this 4. These what is required the food to have the healthy. One is the proteins, another is fiber, third is iron. All this, if you take it in consideration, see, the rice has got what is that? That is nothing but is called pindi padatham. That is we call what we call
carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates. The more only carbohydrates. The carbohydrates with the fiber, both is to be considered how this carbohydrate is divided by this fiber, the percentage how much, the highest you see that millets and also the rice, yeah, or other millets. 5 millets we have seen, that is foxtail millet. If you see the foxtail millet, that is carotene is 32. The highest 32. That you won't find anything except that is pearl millet, which is having another 32. Others are goduma. They're all is less than, that is one part. Second, if you look at the iron content, 6.3.
Wheat you
Iron
are
content.
referring to, right? Goduma.
You don't get this in the rice. Then if you look at the type of protein, 12.3 is the highest, 12.3. Whereas this fiber is 8. When you divide it by carbohydrates by this thing, is 7.57. The same the Vodalo, barnyard, that is 6.55. Then the Arikalu, 7.28. That is Arikalu means Kodo millet. Then little millet Samalu is 6.68. Andukarulu, 5.54. Now, if you look at this niacin in the Andukarulu, that is brown top millet, 18.5. You can't get this anywhere, even in the millets, other millets. Then this 3.2, the thiamine mg, that is a 3.2. Then comes to the same brown top millet, 11.5 protein, 4.21 is khanija, that is minerals, 12.5, that is the fiber, so highest. Like that, if you look at each one, there is a foxtail millet, or barnyard millet, or kodo millet, or the little millet, brown top millet. This is science. I am not talking something which is a need without fiber. If it is rice, where is the fiber? Where is this other components which we are talking about the body requires? And also the more important today, water consumption. We have to, today in Tamil Nadu, they close all schools, hotels, offices in the summer, except these seasons. But last few years, 7 years, if you look at them, this is the water is going to be a big, threat. The future for the drinking water. So this water, how much water you need? For the rice and wheat, it requires 8,000 to 12,000 liters per kg of rice or millet to come on the table, whereas millet only 300 liters. That to rain fed.
That is only 25%, sir, roughly 20% of the required.
Where is 8,000 liters?
8,000, sorry.
Liters.
Yes.
300 liters is hardly anything. Hardly it is the percentage wise. See the 12,000 liters versus 300 liters.
12 liters per acre, sir.
No, 10 liters per kg of the versus of millet versus of
per kg of rice.
To get on the table 1 kg. 1 kg. That is, you imagine that is we can make at least 30 times the productivity with this water millets. Whereas the water, which is agriculture for rice, is methane gas is producing. It is a global warming. That is called what is today is melting ice. Like that, the millets, even the feast, when he went with the 100 puppets through 70 days in the forest, when he is traveling, they asked what millets you are using, what food you are taking. The grass seed. What is grass seed, That is called American millet. This is Andukololu. That is those days they are taken. It is a healthy food. So this digestion also, what is required in this glucose, the person requires 6 units of glucose. Whereas one meal, 12 is in the rice and wheat. One meal means 12, that too, one at a time, 12 grams, your input, then glucose, where it will go. 3 times you take food, 3 times what it will create, diabetes, obesity, all the diseases, which is, whereas this one, 6 units, it releases every 2 hours, 2 units, which is safe for your body. Whereas the rice is suddenly dumps and you don't know the glucose, the blood, it cannot take care of. Your health is ultimate. So millets, if I want to talk about the millets, this particular 5 millets, there are other 5 millets are there. After seeing the out of 10, 12 millets, these 5 millets are the most important, which you always must see the what is the carbohydrates divided by the what
Fiber
pulp,
content.
fiber. This, if you look at this, then what is iron content, what is the protein content, what is the your other important thing is the type of minerals, type of these are all scientifically is proven, which Dr. Kadarwalli, being he is a scientist who has done enormous work on this, and finally, the even today United Nations, the World Health Organization, there is all they said that change from rice wheat to millets, because the future is going to be a big threat. Whatever the rice they are producing, all the money, tax money is going to that, and hardly we are utilizing it. And not only the diseases, and the throwing wastage is going very high, and enormous problems for every government. Today, Telangana, central government, Andhra, all these today states are fighting each other, how to solve the farmer problem, how to, this procurement of rice is the biggest threat. Every tax money is going into waste, throwing this, for 10 years stock they have, no country is able to buy, and today, millets, we have to change consumption, that which is required today.
So can you name some of the top 5 millets which are now in consumption at least? And before we go into the subject of how to grow millets,
right.
Can
This
you talk?
is the foxtail millet. Foxtail millet is the one. Second is the barnyard millet. Barnyard. Third is the kodo millet. Then fourth is little millet. Fifth is brown top millet. These 5 out of other millets top, which comparing all this, whatever is the fiber, iron, the type of proteins, the other good for health, whatever is there, these 5 if you take, and how to take these things also, you have to take like rice wheat, how you are preparing idli, vada, dosa, or other form of like bread, other things, whatever is you are making. Similar, this recipe can be made, that is already in our book, that www.pragatiresource.com, that is AmrutAahar, PDF file one can download, that can be, you can guide them. And this millet,
yes,
this millet, you have to have only one thing, 8 to 10 hours to be soaked, because fiber is so much. If you don't soak, indigestion problem will come. Once the taste wise, I will tell you, nothing can beat in every aspect. Whatever the recipe you make, it will be there. So tasty. So, and rice for people, if they take, 3 people a kg rice, whereas the same, the millet 1 kg, 10 people will take. Put the quantity which is, it is easily digest the rice, and not having the energy for the next 2 hours. So after 2 hours, you will become hunger. Here is not like that. Once you take, it will have minimum 8 hours. Keeps you young.
So, sir, you are saying that millets is easily digestible, high nutrition, more immunity, and also it is very tasty.
Environment.
And we can also, stay very healthy, also fit.
Right.
Correct. And so, how to consume, sir? Like, I mean, we have for making bread. More around the world, bread is something. Different kinds of breads are made. So we can use this millet in for making bread.
Yes, it's the bread you can make. Ambali, we call ambali. Ambali means what this anything the millet, any millet, you just soak it for 8 to 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours, then dry it, then make a powder, which is in different form. If you want to powder for the other type of food, which bread and all, whereas small portions, small items, broken rice like that, if you make, you can use for this type of ambali.
Which millet you use, sir? Ambali, which millet?
Ambali is the one which is in a semi-liquid form. Semi-liquid form.
But which millet you use for making ambali?
Pardon?
What is the English name of the millet which you use for ambali?
Ambali means Java. We call in English form that is it is like a type of soup. It is.
No, I know soup is there, but what is the material with make a powder in English?
Heavy soup, that is in
Yes.
the soup form is heavy soup. How we prepared, I will tell you this.
Yes.
Once you make this broken rice like that, then you cook for after cooking with water. 1:8 ratio water you have to put. One is the millet, 7% is the water. That cooking in the mud pot.
Okay.
You can cook it on any other, but very important that we want to have real delicious in the mud pot. Then that you keep it for 8 hours further. Then mix with the buttermilk or whichever you want, like juice, other things, whichever combination. Having the pickle, either mango pickle or lemon pickle or amla pickle, the taste is fantastic. You know that this from child to 100 years old man, it is such a ambali means it gives you the gut, which is important for your people say gut feeling. Why some people get always bad thoughts, some people always have good thoughts. It depends upon the fiber, what is there in the particular your stomach, that particular we call intestines. That is more important. That is very important. That is the only makes you healthy or unhealthy. The once people take at least 2 times, 3 times without any food also, you can mix the vegetables, you can mix the curries along with that. Full diet. That is the one way which we will be using. That is the real AmrutAahar.
So I know you have to go, but I mean, try to finish off as early as possible. 5 minutes is okay. So another 5 minutes I would take. If I don't know if it allow me, will take more time. So
we'll finish it in 5 minutes because next
yes, sir.
One more program we can have.
Yes. So
ambali part is this part.
So like I want to, sir, come back to this another 2 important points I want to cover. So since we have short time, so today people are suffering from mostly around the world, not only immunity in the current recent pandemic, but also many people have hypertension, diabetes, BP, sugar, and many other diseases are there. I know this is not a medicine, but do you think consuming millet will help prevent them all this?
Yes. Every disease I am talking about, every disease, the answer is the millets with other 3 things which I said. This instead of refined oils, you must go that is a wood-based, that cold press oils. Instead of sugarcane sugar, you must go to palm jaggery. Instead of coffee tea, you must go to your herbal decoctions. These things, even if you live in the place where these things are growing, you don't get any disease. That's my promise.
That's wonderful, sir. But
You,
sir,
because that the aroma which you are inhaling, the people, the rishis, they lived like that. The input intake is very, very less.
she's been scholars, so very scholars. Yes. So, sir, you are growing this all this in Pragati already in the biodiversity park. Are you working with farmers? What do you suggest with people who want to grow millets? What are the requirements like minimum land?
Requirement nothing but we don't need any soil will work. There is no poor soil or rich soil and all. Any soil, it will improve the soil once you start putting these millets. These millets, once you put, what happens? The birds will come more. When the birds comes more and more, your fertigation naturally you don't need to do any fertigation. And this millet, the seed which you can just spread you don't need any input cost. Input cost is the seed and harvesting. In between, you don't need to anything.
What is the time, sir, of yielding from the sowing?
It is there are the 5 types I said. 70 days to 160 days. The type of millet depends upon each millet, and people, the shortage is going to come. Shortage is going to come because the health consciousness is increased now. The people want to change from rice, wheat to millets. Certainly, this is the future. There are 5 types of millets, which one has to have this growing, which wasteland can be converted. Where there is no water, it can be just rain. Just 300 mm, 500 mm rainfall is enough.
So that means, sir, it's a magical food not only for consuming, but it's a magical food also to grow around the world.
Yes,
in the current situation.
That's why the human consumption change from rice to wheat to millet. 99% problems will be solved environmentally, health point of view, and also other living beings. This is the one itself, it can take care of so much.
Sir, it is widely grown in the subcontinent in India. Do you think this can be also grown in other climatic conditions, subtropical, Africa?
This is American millet is called, that is America, that is called, we call Andukorolu. Now the Americans, they are using for the birds, not humans. They have no idea. That is if they understand, this is the most highest fiber, highest mineral, highest iron, all this, these are all we lost. Some people talking about other grains. No grain can match this. No grain can match this.
Sir, so I would like to thank you, sir, and we will not do a conclusion. We will come back again with more interaction in the part of magical food series. I'm sure everyone, all the entrepreneurs and people who want to benefit, in health, professionals and individuals and farmers. I think it's a great news. So I tell them. Can you show the book which you would like to AmrutAahar?
Yeah.
People can go to their website of
Yeah.
Pragati Biodiversity Amrut Research. That AmrutAahar PDF file can be downloaded for more information. And millets is one such topic we also covered. We will take up more in the future interactions. Dr. GBK-Rao, thank you very much for your time. And we request everybody to, whoever is nearby Pragati Biodiversity to visit and also personally see what work is going on in the AmrutAahar and what biodiversity park they have. So once again, thank you, sir. I'd like to conclude.
It's a great pleasure. You have brought such an important, which is need of the hour. The people, the consumption pattern from rice, wheat to millets is the one subject which, even if we have to talk about it, it is hundreds of hours we can talk on the millets. So let us hope the next time we will go for another item. AmrutAahar.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Thank you very much, all the viewers. Please try to understand not only our health, the planet health. Our mother earth is also very important to safeguard our future generation. Otherwise, they will curse us that we don't change today. Thank you.
Yes, that's great, sir. On that note, magical food Amrut Ahar is a solution. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Great pleasure.
Namaste.